Triamid is one of my favourite control decks. I'm happy it's playable once again, thanks to Triamid Sphinx. By no means is this deck on the same level of Witchcrafter and Invoked Neos, because Sphinx came a little bit too late for that to be the case. But thanks to this card, Triamid becomes a deck that can easily make hero games and deal VMAX. It's also won some tournaments. I think balance is definitely the best skill for this deck. If you are not familiar with what balance does, that is on the screen. The reason why balance is so good in Triamid is because it makes it almost 100% consistent. You are guaranteed to start with a field spell, a trap, and a monster, but there is a small chance that you will get Sphinx as your only monster. That is why it's almost 100% consistent. And that is why with balance it's best to play only one Sphinx. There is also benefits to playing between 21 and 23 cards with the balance build. These benefits include bricking on Sphinx less, and having better grind games as a result of having a larger engine. Do be aware that if you play 21, 22 or 23 cards, you will need 7 of each card type to guarantee a monster, spell and trap with balance. I like 20 cards as well because it makes deck filling for more traps easier, and it means that you draw Cruiser more often. Apart from Sphinx, the monster ratios I use are 3 Master, 2 Hunter and 1 Dancer. I use 3 Master, 2 Hunter instead of the other way around because having the 3rd Master comes up in grind games. And when I draw multiple normal summons, there is a high chance of one of them being Hunter anyway. Also, activating a 2nd field spell on top of Cruiser lets you search Hunter. The 2nd Dancer doesn't feel super needed, but when I do play 2, it's normally in over 20 cards. Leading off Dancer is not as good as leading off Hunter or Master. Cruiser is the best field spell to draw, and going through all of them can happen a lot. That is why I use 3. Tagging out into all 3 King Golem can also happen a lot. That is why I use 3. Fortress is very useful, but having it in the deck at all times is not super important, plus it can be put back with Dancer. That is why I use 1. Moving on to the traps, 2 Pulse is more common. I'm a fan of 3. Getting access to the card as early as possible is very good. If you draw multiple, it is not necessarily too bad. I like how Pulse is a constant threat for the opponent, not just by destroying their cards, but by bringing back your monsters too, especially Sphinx. The effect to draw is also nice. Treacherous has always been very strong in Triamid. It's obviously very strong with a lot of decks, but it has some extra synergy with Triamid, like preventing responses when you use it alongside King Golem when attacking, or when your opponent has only 1 monster and you are forced to target your own, you can tag out into Fortress so that your monster survives. For the other trap cards, I know that Canadia is really popular in this deck. It has some nice synergy with Master and Treacherous. I'm a fan of it too, and I recommend trying it out if you have it. Personally though, in this meta I prefer something a little bit more high impact. Something more explosive. Wall of Disruption is strong, but at the same time is weak against a lot of the current meta decks. With Needle Sealing, you can protect your own monsters by tagging into Fortress, or you can bring them back with Pulse, or you can let them be destroyed and then summon Sphinx. Because of how balance works, the only thing you can really change up tech-wise is the traps. Fortunately, there is a lot of strong traps to choose from. These are the ones that I recommend. The extra deck is not too important because Xyz monsters are not quite here yet, but if you do have a Trishula, then use that. It could come up sometimes because of Fiendish Chain and Floodgate Trap Hole. That is all for the deck breakdown. Up next is the gameplay. If you are watching this around the time when it comes out, good luck for those of you competing in Stage 2 of the KC Cup. I will also be playing, so next video will be after this weekend. If you have any questions about Triamid, put them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, enjoy the gameplay.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to a place where senses will decay. Your ghost and mind will shadow play. I got you wild upside down. Upside down. Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to a place where senses will decay. Your ghost and mind will shadow play. I got you wild upside down.